What's up everybody, it's your boy Chef DA and we're back with another video, and today we're going to be making potato leaf soup. We're going to be adding some extra stuff in there as well, but for the most part, some of the things, if you don't eat meat, if you don't eat pork, you don't have to add any of those things in there. But for the most part, we're just going to be making a basic soup. It's that time of the year when we can make soup. I live in Arizona, so I usually don't get a chance to make soup, but today I'm going to be making soup today. So enjoy the video and stay tuned. All right, so we have some leeks right here that I have cleaned. So when you clean your leeks, you want them to sit in cold water and make sure all the dirt, if there is any dirt, make sure that settles to the bottom. And then you want to take the leeks out, dry them, and then all that dirty water. Another reason why you want to strain it is we're putting oil in this pan, and oil and water does not mix. Now if you see, I don't know if you can see on my arm, but as a chef, I got burns all up and down my arm because you know when you hit the crunch, you do a lot of stuff, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, you know, me personally. But you want to make sure you dry all those leeks, and let's get this started. So we're just gonna add some oil in this pan, put the leeks in there. We're gonna sweat them. Sweating them means we're not gonna cook them at a high heat. We're just going to cook them at a low temperature, and you don't want to brown these at all. You just want to cook them just a little bit, and because we're going to continue to cook it in our stock. We have the leeks cooking. We're going to just add some of our bacon to our pot as well. And we're just gonna crisp up the bacon. The bacon I cut into little small pieces. As you see here, just cut up in little cube pieces. And we're just going to lightly cook that, strain off the fat, and then we're gonna leave that for the end. So I added just a little bit of bacon fat to these leeks for a little bit more flavor. Why? Because I had something on the side. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of bacon fat. If you have bacon fat, save it. I've always grew up in a household where I always had some bacon fat in a Folgers can. If you live in an African American household, you already know what I'm talking about. So I grew up just having just a little bit. I watched my grandfather, and he always would dip a spoon in that bacon fat and put it in whatever he was cooking. I would say talk to your doctor about that, but hey, if you don't want to talk to him, don't talk to him. Add that bacon fat. So we're just going to continue to cook these leeks in here, and not browning them, but just sweating them just a little bit in here, and then we'll show you what's going to happen next. So I have some chicken broth right here. I'm only using chicken broth instead of chicken stock because I wanted just a little bit more flavor. And with it being a basic soup like this, I already wanted to instill that flavor in there without adding a lot of salt. I really don't add a lot of salt to anything that I make. I usually use a lot of fresh herbs, a lot of fresh this, and I put a lot of stuff in there instead of focusing on salt, because the more stuff you add to it, those fresh ingredients, meaning those herbs, spices, and stuff like that, then that is what enhances the flavor, not the salt. The salt is just gonna make it more saltier. So always keep in mind, put fresh herbs and spices and use that in your food to enhance your flavors. So since these leeks are nice and it's cooked down just a little bit, I'm gonna show you guys how it looks now, right before I put the broth in there, so you can know what kind of consistency you want to have for this. To add some of this chicken broth to the leeks. I'm gonna add this whole container in here, and I might add some more depending on, but you'll always have a recipe in the description down below. So once this comes to a boil, we're gonna add, or right before it comes to a boil, we're gonna add in our potatoes. I have some potatoes that I had diced already. You can dice these as big as you want, as small as you want. You just want to make sure at the end of the day that it's all cooked when you're done. But we're gonna add the potatoes to the leek and broth mixture, and then we're gonna cook those until they're pork tender. So it's nice and hot, and I'm gonna add these potatoes to this mixture. I'm also gonna add in some bay leaves as well. We're gonna cover this and let it cook. So now that our potatoes are nice and cooked, we're going to add some heavy cream to that mixture, and then we're gonna continue to cook it down in that. About a cup of cream. Alright, we're gonna give this just a little stir. We're gonna keep our bay leaves in there as well, but at the end, if you're ever using bay leaves for anything, just make sure you take it out at the end, because you don't want anybody choking on the bay leaves. So we're gonna continue to cook this. And as well, we're going to put some salt in here, no pepper. If I put pepper in here, I would have put white pepper in there, but it's all right. You don't have to do this, but I'm putting Old Bay in mine. And that's only because I'm adding another thing to this. I'm going to be adding some clams. Just want to give it a little bit more flavor. That's the only reason why I'm putting this in there, but I'm probably gonna put maybe like a tablespoon in here just to add that flavor. All right, so we're gonna melt the rest of this butter down and then add flour. And we're gonna add this slowly because no one likes the lumps in there. I'm not gonna add it all at once. Gonna make sure it's all incorporated in there. That was my thing a long time ago. I used to add it in all at once, and then you just have those clumps, and then you have to, you know, mash the flour down, but we're not about that life. So right here would be your blonde roux. It's not any darker. So to make it more brown, you would brown the butter first, then you would put your the flour in afterwards. So I'm just probably gonna put, I have this much, just enough to coat the pan. I'm probably gonna put half of this mixture in there, and then over time, if I find out if it's not thick as I want to, I might just add just a little bit more. I'm just gonna add half of that. Actually, I'm gonna add all of it in. Don't be scared. And the thing is about this, you just want to make sure you stir this constantly before you put the top back on there, because you don't want that to settle and just be just a clump. You want it to get thick and be incorporated in all the liquid so everything can pick up. You can already see here that it is starting to thick up, which is a really good thing. That's what I want right there. Starting to thick up. It's not juicy. You don't, but it's up to you. If you want it to be loose, you don't have to add anything in there. You just let it be as it is. But if you want it to be nice and thick and creamy, you add a little bit of room there. All right, so one of the last ingredients is clams. I have these nice chopped clams, and I'm just going to add it to finish everything. You don't have to put clams in there if you don't want to. I just seen it when I was buying my groceries. I'm like, man, I should add some clams in there too. So that's what I'm gonna do to this, and oh, it's nice and thick. And I'm just gonna add this to it just to finish. You can add as many in there as you want. Alright, so we're here. We're almost done. I'm gonna grab one more thing. Yes, sir. Not playing. Added some chili oil in there as well. Homemade, by the way. So everything looks pretty good, man. Alright, we have a bowl right here and our ladle. Smells good, and I know it tastes good. Why do I know it tastes good? I'm Chef DA. Alright, so we have our clam chowder here. I'm gonna add some of this bacon, this heaping pile of bacon on here. Don't be scared. Use your bacon. And we're just gonna finish this with some of this chili oil. I'm also gonna add some of these scallions for garnish. And that's how you make potato leek soup.